The day after Brexit, I was in a bar with a few friends of mine, and we were discussing the implications of Brexit for all of us. There were two women sitting not far from us. At some point, one of those two women said really loudly, "This is why we voted for Brexit, to get rid of people like you. We don't want people like you in this country." And this is the polite version. You may think that this quite upsetting event I was the victim of when I was the other originated from hatred, and that there was an intention behind it. Today I'm here to tell you that my research shows that they may not be the case. This is the Pepsodent advertisement campaign of a few years ago in the United States. Pepsodent is a multi-million company that mainly sells toothpaste. As you can see from this picture, the main selling point of this product was its whitening properties. Because, of course, in the Western world, white is associated with ideas of cleanliness and health and beauty. In fact, the whiter our teeth are, the better looking we think we are. So they sold this product in the States, and in fact, it was selling pretty well. So well that they decided to launch this product in foreign countries. They decided to expand, and they picked the Southeast Asian countries. So what they did was they took this marketing campaign and they started to market the product. To the greatest disappointment of Pepsodent, however, the product wasn't selling at all. Nobody was buying it. Why? What were they missing? This is a person from one of those Southeast Asian countries Pepsodent were trying to sell in their product to. The way people brush their teeth in those countries is by chewing betel nut tree leaves, which release antibacterial properties. The side effect of chewing these leaves, the side effect, if you will, is that it also releases blackening properties. So from a clinical point of view, the teeth of this person are actually clean. However, they are stained. So you can see how the whole concept of having white teeth in those countries is completely flipped over. In fact, if you have white teeth in those countries, means that you don't brush enough. So, of course, Pepsodent weren't selling the product. How could they? And we are talking about here, we're not talking about here a small shop down the road, perhaps in the middle of the Norfolk County. We are talking about Pepsodent, a multi-million company. A multi-million company that hires perhaps dozens of high-profile marketing experts. And yet, they missed something like that. Not only that, but also, more importantly, the offending a culture or discriminating somebody was the last thing that Pepsodent wanted to do. In fact, it was against the company's interest. They were actually losing millions. And yet again, they missed something like that. Why? Well, the answer is simple. They were lacking cultural awareness. And when we lack cultural awareness, that means that we project our behavioral rules onto others. We assume that people act like us so deeply, in fact, that we expect that people think like us, behave like us, eat like us, dress like us, pray like us. Lack of cultural awareness is not conscious. We are all programmed from birth to see the world in a certain way. And all of us, that unconscious process of creating this cultural orientation happens to all of us. That means that cultural awareness is unconscious, we are blind, and we are blind to our blindness. This filter through which we see the world and through which we judge the world is normally harmless if, for example, we live surrounded by people from our own cultural background. However, when we meet people from other cultures, lack of cultural awareness creates misunderstanding, creates discomfort, confusion, even fear. And when we are scared, the last thing we want is to open ourselves to the unknown, to the other. In fact, what we know is to shield ourselves behind what we know, surrounded by the people we know, surrounded by things that are familiar to us. There is no hatred behind it. There is no discriminatory intent to our first reaction. This is normal, nothing to be ashamed of. Today, I'm here to tell you that, yes, lack of cultural awareness can be harmless, as in when we surround ourselves by people that are like us. Sometimes can lead to uncomfortable and perhaps unproductive situations, like in the Pepsodent example, or can escalate and lead to discrimination and hatred, like me sitting in a bar the day after Brexit. Today, I'm here to tell you that from Pepsodent to me sitting in a bar, just a blink of an eye. Today, I'm here to tell you that we live in a multicultural world, perhaps even more so every day. Unless we lock ourselves in a room with no access to the external world for the rest of our life, we will meet people from other cultures. We will. And when that happens, we have two choices ahead of us. We can listen to the unconscious voice that tells us in our brain that our way is the best possible way, that there is only one right way to do things, our own. Or we can choose to go past that thought, and we can choose to tell ourselves that there are different ways and multiple ways to live life and do things. That the same way that that our culture leads us, other people's cultures lead them. Today I'm here to tell you that we can choose understanding over fear. We can choose cultural awareness. Thank you.